Hey, honeymooners, we'd love for you guys to come see us live. Come see us do some stand-up. We're headed to Denver, Colorado for the High Plains Comedy Festival, September 27th and 28th. We're doing a Natasha and Moshe and Friends live stand-up show, and very excitingly, we're doing a first live taping of the Endless Honeymoon podcast. If you would like to be on the podcast and actually come up on stage with us and ask us for some advice with some of the comedians at the festival, please email us, endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com, and we can have you come do this live. Come see us there. And do we have anything else coming up, Tosh?
Come see us Portland, December 19th through the 21st. We'll be at Helium Comedy Club.
And we got a lot more fun and exciting live stand-up to report to you when we get those dates. We'll let you know. We love you. Hi. It's the Endless Honeymoon podcast coming to you live from our screening room, a.k.a. our basement.
Yeah, we don't really have a screening room.
Well, we have a room with a screen in it.
I'm against TVs in the main living area, so we don't have one there. We just have one in our bedroom.
Our listeners will be surprised to know that Natasha has some pretty strong opinions about aesthetic choices.
Well, it's very depressing to come home and have someone watching Flavor of Love or whatever.
Yeah, that's our baby watches Flavor of Love.
Our baby watches Sesame Street.
We just started that. We just started watching Sesame Street. Things are getting pretty buck wild over at the Cashier Leggero house. We just popped the cherry of Sesame Street.
But I will say we did have sort of an eruption this week that I would like to talk about.
Well, before we get into that, I will let me say about Sesame Street.
Yes.
It's kind of funny because I got all these like old 1970s episodes of Sesame Street. Clearly, they're all on drugs. It's all super psychedelic.
No, you think they're on drugs?
For sure. Absolutely.
What?
Yeah. The Children's Television Workshop? That's a cocaine palace right there.
Maybe like some weed in the morning or something.
But the funny part is like, it's so funny how like even Sesame Street has been affected by like woke culture, because like you watch these 70s shows and it's like it is not, there are some jokes in there I'm like, I can't believe they got away with it.
Oh, they're like making fun of fat people.
Yeah,
and
there was
stuff.
this like kid detective and he's like, we had a clue, it was a big fat boy, so we went to the auditorium looking for a fatty fat boy. I'm like, I can't believe Oscar the Grouch. Maybe. What did you want to talk about, Natasha?
I wanted to talk about the fact that we were at a restaurant.
Oh, God.
And you got into a verbal shouting match with one of the patrons.
Okay, that did happen, but it requires context. First of all, Natasha and I have an ongoing situation. Like, you know how everybody has their core issue?
Right.
What's yours?
My core issue with you, you're a mess.
No, with you, man.
My core issue.
Like, we all have a core issue that we're working on.
I mean, I didn't know that I had to share that right now.
It's body odor. Yours is body odor.
No.
Mine is I have a quick temper.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
I have a quick temper. I hate being, quote, disrespected. And sometimes I start to react to things in public before I really have an opportunity to decide that I'm going to react. I'm just already reacting.
Well, you've really only done like, I'd say 3 of these in our relationship.
Listen, this is an issue that I am working on and I've gotten better about, but it is an issue. And I don't like being disrespected. I never start fights. I don't start fights, but I finish them. We were flying back from somewheres or another, and we watched on the plane, Natasha and I, Midnight Cowboy. Great film. Robert Redford, Dustin Hoffman, right? And we're watching it, and it's a great movie. We'd never seen it before. We decided, hey, let's crack a classic, right?
It was great.
It was a great movie. So we call the Lyft when we get to LAX, and he shows up. He picks us up, and I can see this is where you should trust your instincts, right? Because I could see him see us, and I knew he didn't like us from the moment. I just could see in a look on his face, like, oh, this dude somehow doesn't. He was like rolling his eyes from the minute we.
He kind of looked like a history professor. He
was like very, very tall in a very small car, kind of like when that really tall guy in The Simpsons was driving, and he was like could barely fit, and then the bully, whatever that guy's name is, Melvin or whatever, was going behind him, and he was like, ha ha, or whatever. And then the man's like, why are you laughing at me? This is the largest car that I could afford. He kind of was like that vibe.
Yeah.
60 years old, kind of guy you could picture like going to jazz clubs because he thinks it's cool, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't like us, and I don't know why someone could take a look at the two of us and immediately not like us.
I mean, I could see that.
To be fair, we were both dressed like we were members of the like Pirates of Penzance as we got into the...
I always travel with 2 hats.
Yeah, she was wearing 2 hats. So we get in the back. We get in the back and we're like barely exchange anything with him. I'm just getting a bad vibe from the dude, but we're not talking to him.
So we're just talking about Midnight Cowboy.
We are talking about Midnight
Trying
Cowboy.
to figure out what it meant.
What was the plot?
Are they gay?
Were they gay?
What were they trying to say?
There's a big old
with
thing.
The movie.
Yeah, because they're like hustlers, you know, like Robert Redford is a hustler, like a street hustler where he sleeps with men for money. And then Dustin Hoffman is this kind of like weird, like sort of street rat character. And they have this very intense male, like sort of friendship. But you can't quite tell if like Dustin Hoffman...
The point is, we were talking about that in the car.
We were deconstructing Midnight Cowboy. And, you know, once in a while he'll huff and puff in the front, but it's like, whatever, it's no big deal. So we get back to closer to the house, and where we live...
We're like a block away.
Where we live, there's like a turn. It's a 2-lane street, and 1 lane has to turn, and 1 you keep going to our house. And I go, oh, you're going to want to get over into the left-hand lane because this one's turn only. But he does it, right? He huffs, but he does it, right? And then we get to like the house, and I'm like, okay, turn left here. This is true. This is all I did. And what did he say?
I know how to drive.
I know how to fucking drive, or something like that.
I don't know if he said fucking.
No, he did say fucking.
He must have said something to set you
or
off.
Jackass, or he swore. I remember he swore at me.
I remember that too.
Because when he swore, I fucking took my suitcase and I bashed him in the side of the face 7 times till his bloody face was just smeared up against the... No, that's not what happened. I was like, okay, pull over right now. We're getting out. Like, you don't ever talk...
Moshe got mad.
I got very angry. Pull over right now. You know, I don't know. It got a little weird and chaotic. And we get out of the car, and what happened?
He didn't want to give us our suitcases.
He wouldn't give us our suitcases. I'm like, give me my fucking shit, dude. Like, give me my suitcases.
So it escalated.
Wait, why didn't he want to give the suitcase? Do you remember?
No.
He wanted to call the police.
Okay, well then you started filming.
Hold on. That's true. No. That's true. I started filming. Which, by the way...
It's such a dumb move.
It's an escalation, I will say. But don't swear at me. I'm going to film it so that, you know...
But at this point, we're in front of our door.
We're at our door.
We could just leave.
So then we couldn't leave.
Okay, but can I say something? I just wanted to get... I said, sir, can I just have the suitcases? And he was going to give them to me.
That isn't true. That's not true. This whole story is predicated on the fact that he wouldn't give the suitcases up. But it does speak to my issue with you, and I have these conflicts, which is I have an issue. You know, old Moshe comes out. I can't control old Moshe. You know what I mean? I can't control. You trying to control old Moshe? That's trying to break an old ornery bull.
Let's just say if you would have done this a lot, I probably wouldn't have married you. I mean, if you would have done it a lot before.
But my issue with you is, okay, it's a problem. The bucking bronco, the bucking bull, he's a bad boy. But you always side with the bad person.
Can we explain what happened?
No, but I want to examine what just happened in our conversation. You said you could have just grabbed your suitcases and go, but that ain't true.
Okay, well, I don't remember the details. All I remember is you standing. Wait, can I just say something? You were standing by the trunk with him, fighting with him, and then you go, Tosh, turn off the ignition. I think you wanted me to hide his keys.
No, I wanted you to pop the trunk so I could grab the bags.
I wasn't even in the front seat.
Listen. I was out of control. This was not my best, most rational thinking moment. I did.
And also, who are these people? He could have a gun. He could have a knife.
I could have a gun. I could have a knife.
Okay.
I had both on me.
I just remember
I carry a gun and a knife on every flight.
I felt in danger.
I hear you. It was not my best moment, but I was not thinking rationally, and I did not know what to do. If you're listening, what would you have done in this situation?
We're not really setting it up that well because in my mind, there was just a very clear way to be like, thank you, please just give me the bags.
That's the entire issue we're having right now. Is that
you were filming him and you both wanted to call the police. I
didn't want to call the police.
I think you were egging him on to call the police because you knew how stupid he would look if he called the police. He didn't do anything.
This is this is as close to my core vulnerability as we get is when I lose control in this way, and it just really does bum me out that you always side with the random stranger that's being rude and never with me. So much so that you've rehistoricalized this story so that there was a very simple way to end it, but there wasn't. The guy was holding our stuff hostage. He wouldn't give me my bags.
Okay, so tell me what happened then.
Well, it's got a great punchline, but you're now in the middle of a real fight between me and Natasha. But that makes me sad.
I'm sorry, Moshe. I can't help the way I feel when I feel that I'm in danger.
Okay, so the 65-year-old history professor you were feeling like might have pulled out a Tommy gun from his elbow patch. So I didn't know what to, I truly didn't know what to do. I was out of my mind. I was insane at this point. I mean, and I will freely admit that. I don't know what are you supposed to do? Like, I just don't know. He wouldn't give us our bags. He's calling the police. No incident has occurred. He's like calling the cops to tell them, I don't know, that he wishes he had gone to grad school and didn't drive for Lyft. I don't know what his thing was. But he walked around, he walked away to call the police, and I did jump in the front seat and pull the trunk, and he ran back over with, I would say, remarkable speed and slammed the trunk down. Finally, I don't know how. Maybe you helped?
I think I helped.
Yeah.
I'm very soft in those situations. I don't have, what's that male thing called? Testosterone?
Yeah.
I don't start getting like amped on testosterone.
Right.
I'm just very rational.
Okay, so rational.
And I was 8 months pregnant.
I'm not.
I'm just saying you feel very like, you know.
We're building up to a funny punchline here, Natasha, not a complete condemnation of me as a man. So we're getting, finally, somehow everything calmed down a bit, right? Mm-hmm. And we get to I don't know how, but he gives us the suitcases. And I'm walking in the house, and I'm like, now, okay, now get the fuck off my property or something like that. And I don't know if it was technically my property. And he goes, no way. I'm waiting for the cops. And I go, what are you going to tell the cops? That we got our suitcases and left into our house? And he goes, I'm going to tell them that you're a fucking idiot. And I go, well, okay, I'm sure they'll come arrest me for being an idiot. And he goes, and I'm going to tell them that you didn't understand the plot to Midnight Cowboy. And that was such a crazy and amazing line that after all that, I was like, I think you won, sir.
And he also knows where we live, so that's cool.
But we did get a free ride from the airport.
He didn't charge you? Oh, you called.
Oh, yeah. I messaged Lyft. And I was like, let's go ahead and knock that charge off.
But then that guy probably got fired.
Good.
Right, I hear you. So
see what I'm saying, though? You're on that guy's side.
Okay, well, maybe that's my core issue.
No.
I want to be safe.
I don't. That's a rosy interpretation of that.
Well, why don't we take a call before we get divorced?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's harder to deal with your own relationship issues than it is to give advice to others about theirs. So let's see if we can widen the aperture and take a call.
It's hard to figure out how to eat healthy, especially when you're busy. Right, Tosh?
Yeah, we've been eating crap lately.
You're eating pork rinds like 3 meals a day.
You did get me some baked potato skins today from the brand TJI Friday. It was so disgusting.
All right. You don't have to get too personal. Well, Daily Harvest has come along just in time to make it easier than ever to get back in the habit of eating more fruits and vegetables. They have a thoughtfully sourced, chef-crafted food that can be prepared in less than 5 minutes.
Fill your box with more than 65 different options. Smoothies, soups, harvest bowls. Who doesn't love a bowl?
I'll tell you who loves bowls. These people in Colorado, because they legalized marijuana. But that's not what we're selling here. Daily Harvest is selling health. They take each Daily Harvest cup, takes only one step to prepare, and there's room for customization. They give you a little cup, you add your favorite milk to a smoothie, and you just blend it all up. Or you can heat a Harvest bowl and top it with avocado or fried egg. It's super delicious.
So go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code HONEYMOON to get $25 off your first box. That's promo code HONEYMOON for $25 off your first box at dailyharvest.com.
Promo code HONEYMOON. Tosh, I've got great hair.
I know you do, and I've got crappy hair, and so does our daughter.
I could literally wash my hair with dish soap, and it would come out looking smooth and silky. But not everybody has that kind of luck. That's why Function of Beauty has created an online portal where you can go out and make a shampoo specifically designed for your hair care needs.
Also, safe, natural ingredients. I'm obsessed with making sure there aren't any parabens in my shampoo.
Yeah, you always talk about that.
I do. And they're vegan and cruelty-free.
Yeah, no animals were harmed to make this shampoo. We've tried this stuff. It works really well. Obviously, it works really well for me, but Natasha, she came out looking thick and lovely. And I'm talking about her hair. So here's the deal. Our listeners will receive 20% off their first order at Function of Beauty.
So to redeem, head to functionofbeauty.com/honeymoon and take the hair profile quiz. I took it. Moshe took it.
Mine said perfect. Hers said needs some work. Go to functionofbeauty.com/honeymoon.
Now we're going to call Bridget in New York City.
Hello?
Bridget.
Hey.
Is it Bridget?
Just say Bridget.
It's spelled with a D, and I've always wondered, is that Bridget or is it Bridget?
I don't know. Honestly, it's Irish. I don't know what the Irish are doing. I think it's like water.
I think they're drinking.
It's a T or a D. It doesn't matter.
Bridget, I think they're drinking. That's what the Irish are up to right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
they didn't know how to spell or read, so it's okay.
No, they do. They do.
Wait, so Bridget, you live in New York, and what is your problem?
What a gentle way to get into it.
Well, I just, she's living in a big city, so I'm wondering how this will factor into her issue.
Bridget, you live in New York City, and what is your
That's all the
fucking
information I
problem?
have.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I live in like the suburbs of New York City. I live in basically the Bronx.
Okay.
But I'm not like good with people. This is the main problem. Even though there are 8 million people in the city, it doesn't really matter.
How do you mean? What is your problem with people? Give me an example.
I'm really awkward in person and in just generally.
I believe that. I'm just kidding.
I have trouble like people I'm already friends with. I'm very comfortable around, but it takes a while to get to know me, and the whole like dating app situation or all of that, like it doesn't really work for my talents.
Well, wait, I'm curious what you mean by you're awkward, because like a lot of times we have these stories we tell ourselves about ourselves, and they make themselves become true by telling the story. So you don't seem that awkward to me right now. I mean, you seem fine. How are you awkward?
Well, it's a difficult question to answer. I'm not good at small talk, basically, so I'm not good at the like intro to a friendship or to like a dating scenario. I don't really know how to like do small talk. I'm more like I can talk for a long time about like psychology or cults or like any of the different things I'm interested in. I talk to you for like 4 hours about a particular Netflix show I've been watching, but I can't really talk. Like, I don't know what to do when I first meet someone.
Well, small talk is a burden. Nobody wants to do it. I remember when I went to acting conservatory in New York, the teacher said, the only purpose of conversation is to entertain or to teach or to receive those benefits yourself. And I always thought that like, that's all you really want, is you want to learn something or you want to be entertained. Like small talk, that's obviously. But sometimes you do need to like, talk a little bit to get to the bigger things. Yeah,
you're essentially saying you don't like the part where you're meeting someone and you're talking about sort of just vapid nonsense in order to figure out if you're even compatible. That's the part that you have a hard time getting off the launch pad.
Yes, exactly.
And what about, I would think apps would be great for that, because you could get all the nonsense out of the way via text, and then you could be like, by the way, I'm Bridget. The reason that I live in the Bronx is I've been a member of this Yankee themed sex cult for the last 7 years, and that's who I am, and that's really what I want to talk about. By the time you get, what is it about apps that you're unable to break the ice on the app? I've never really done the apps for anything. Yeah, I got out at OkCupid. So
well, OkCupid is the one I actually use the most, because they have like questions that people answer, and it can sorts out some of the monsters really quickly.
That's right. They have like a filtration system. Do you know that, Natasha?
No.
There's like a bunch of questions that people have to answer, and if they don't pass muster, and there's a ranking system on the question. So if they don't pass, like if you have a question, if you're like a hardcore alt-right person, which I assume you are, Bridget, you live in the Bronx. So if you're like a hardcore alt-right person and you're like, did you vote for Trump? And if they vote no, then they won't even get matched with you. It'll be filtered out of your people altogether.
I see.
And like for me, like,
it really is.
It is interesting. On my profile, Bridget, is, do you have a problem with being with a married man? Can you keep a secret? And if you answered no to either of those, you're out, you know? So what are your questions?
It really is. Some of the questions on there are like intense. Like they'll ask like, do you support the death penalty? And it's like, this is not important for me for dating.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, you just want somebody to kill that ass, right? I was going to say a different word, kill that other word, but then I didn't know you well enough, Bridget, to really drop the P-bomb this early in our conversation. I too have a problem with small talk, but it's usually offensive.
It seems like you're doing good with Moshe.
Well, it's a little different because I don't actually know you guys, so I have no reason to impress you.
Right, you don't have the deep connection you do on somebody that you matched with on OkCupid with us. But wait.
There are no stakes.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you know any of your filter questions on OkCupid?
Well, okay, so there's a question that's like, how much do you tip someone if they did a good job as a waiter? And there's a guy who said like 10%, and that's an automatic deal breaker. Like that tells you a lot about someone.
Sure.
I'm surprised they even admitted that.
I know.
Moshe tried to tell me once that you only tip 15% at lunchtime.
Well, Bridget, I've changed since I've been with Natasha, but I used to be a lighter tipper at lunch. 15% at lunch I thought was reasonable, but now it's 20 across the board.
Yeah.
Well, so, okay, Bridget, you have a hard time with small talk. You have a hard time breaking the ice with guys. What are you actually looking for in a partner?
I guess I'm looking for someone who is like me, I'm a big nerd and who's interested in talking about intellectual things, who can talk for a long time about different TV shows I'm into.
Intellectual things like TV shows, sure.
I think that you should keep doing the dating apps if you want to, but basically what I tell all my friends who are single and want to meet people, and just try to get out of your head about I'm bad at small talk or whatever. Those are just labels. Nobody wants to do it, or at least I don't want to do it. So I'm sure that you're not alone. So you just have to go out as much as possible. You need to be going to places that will have people who you want to mingle with.
Yeah, I agree. And also, please tell your dog to not interrupt our podcast. I was going to say something similar, which is you stay on the apps if you want, but also, why don't you get on some of these message boards or online communities that aren't dating based? Then your filter questions are already answered because they're already on your interest level, and you don't even have the pretense of dating. You don't even have to worry about small talk.
Another thing that's happening in the world right now is I think that we're all kind of like, you stay home, there's so much TV to watch, and then you're on your phone, and that's how you're going to meet someone. And it's like, you just have to take that extra step. You have to go out and don't let TV win over an invitation to a party or to a show or an event or anything, even if it's just something where you were like, oh, this might be a cool place. I think you just have to always fight that and go out. Yeah.
And then my final recommendation is to go onto OkCupid and tell the man or woman that you're interacting with that you actually lost your tongue in a freak accident, and so you don't speak. And then you just get straight to the fucking. And then you don't even have to worry about small talk.
Okay.
So
that sounds good.
You're gonna do all of those things, right?
I will.
Every one of them, Bridget. You're not that awkward. You seem like a cool person. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's nerdy like you that
then
wants to chit chat.
Then you guys can stream TV together and stay home.
It'll be amazing.
Thank you.
Enjoy the Bronx.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So this is my anonymous message to say that I've been a heroin addict for the last 10 years. I have an 8-year-old son, and I can't tell anybody because I'm afraid I'll lose him, I'll lose my job, and I'll lose my girlfriend. Nobody in the world knows that I do this besides my dealer. I've managed to hide every time I'm sick. I've had some people question me before, but I guess I just don't know what to do. The thing that scares me most is losing my son. I'm really caught between a rock and a hard place. I don't want to be a heroin addicted dad, but I want to keep being a dad. I know I need help, I just don't know how to go about getting it so that I don't lose my son. Thanks for listening. Love your show.
Well, we're a comedy podcast, and some things just aren't funny. But here's the deal. Tosh, I think I can take this.
Okay.
Tasha's having an issue. Look.
Well, I mean, it's so heavy. I don't even know where to start.
I know where to start. It's pretty simple.
Yeah?
Heroin is fucking poison. And
I don't know anything about it.
It wraps around you like a fucking viper, and it makes you feel like it's the only thing that can ever give you fun or enjoyment in your life. I've had so many friends that were addicted to heroin. I've had family members that were addicted to heroin. It's a fucking plague. So first and foremost, to the guy, absolutely no judgment because you're a dad. You're in the middle of a sickness and you're arrested by it. But there are more important things than shooting dope, obviously. You know that. But it's never, I mean, I've had a lot of personal experience with drug addiction, and it's never about whether something's important enough. I mean, that's like one of the great illusions of drug addiction is like, look at this thing. Isn't it more important to you than heroin? And of course, if we had that guy here in front of us and he would say, of course my kid is more important to me than heroin is. The problem with drug addiction is it's like hypnosis. It's not that it's more important than your kid. It's that when that little demon bites you, when that viper bites you, you forget about the thing that was more important to you. And the only thing that you can think is, I got to get high. So I get it, and I don't judge you at all if you're listening. There is hope, though. There is so much hope for drug addiction. First and foremost, you can get on methadone. It's not a perfect solution. Methadone's not perfect. It's not great, but you won't overdose and die on it, and you will be able to get off of heroin if you take it seriously. You can get on methadone. You can go to a 12-step group. You can get into a rehab, and you're not going to automatically get your kid taken away from you if you get help, if you try to get help. You don't have to tell your therapist or your rehab or the NA hotline that you even have kids. You can call NA. A lot of people don't like NA because it's like religious and weird, but you can call and talk to another addict. I guarantee that there's somebody out there that's been in the exact same situation as you. I don't just guarantee it. I know people have been in the same situation as you. Some of them are dear friends of mine who've been clean for a long time. So go to a free clinic. Ask people, look up where's the nearest methadone clinic? Go to a free clinic. The reality of heroin more than anything else, I've been in recovery. I don't even know if I'm technically in recovery anymore, but I am clean for more than 20 years. And every person that I've known that's died from drug addiction has died from drug addiction because of heroin.
That's what I was going to say. It does not end well.
It doesn't end well. But it's so simplistic to say it from a person that's already clean or isn't an addict. Just stop. That's not the solution. The solution is to take your problem seriously, ask for help, and change the way that you're living. There is help out there. Like I said, methadone, you could get on methadone tomorrow. You wouldn't kick. You wouldn't get sick. I think that's true. And you will be able to kick your habit at least temporarily. So there's hope. There's help. Call NA. Call a methadone clinic. Call a free clinic. Do whatever it is that you need to do to get clean. The fact that you're calling and admitting it for the first time is probably a pretty big step. I don't mean to be long-winded.
No, it's good.
This is a thing that I know a lot about. And if you are listening out there, really, honestly, my thoughts are with you. One of the closest people to me in my whole life was a heroin addict and hasn't shot dope in almost 20 years. And I got tons and tons of friends that got off dope. It is possible. There is hope. There is. You just got to take the first step. So call the NA hotline. You can call the NA hotline. And you know what? Listen, even if NA is not your thing, they'll at least be able to, somebody there will be able to get you closer to the solution than you're probably getting by just feeling ashamed of yourself. So I'm going to give it to you now. I'm going to give you the NA hotline.
They can Google it.
Well, I'm going to just do it. Why not? Here's the National Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Helpline. 1-800-662-HELP. HELP. This is a free, confidential. This is not NA. This is a free, confidential, 24/7, 365-day-a-year treatment, referral, and information service hotline for individuals and families who are facing substance abuse disorders. You don't have to go to a treatment center. You don't have to listen to what they refer you to, but they will be able to help you more than you will be able to help yourself by sitting and feeling ashamed of yourself and staring at your kid and going, why am I such an asshole? Because you're not an asshole. You're a sick man, and there is medicine out there for you. 800-662-HELP. You got love. You got the love of your kid. You got the love of your family. And for what it's worth, you got love from the two of us as well. All right, let's play another secret.
The Three Stooges make me horny.
There couldn't have been a better secret to cleanse the palate of that heartbreaking last one than the Three Stooges make me horny.
I'm not gonna lie, they make me horny too.
Are you being serious?
I mean, I think I like picturing them like on a ship. It seems fun.
That's so funny. So that's why every time I try to penetrate you, you put your hand over your vagina, like Mo putting his hand on his nose so he can't get poked in the eye.
No, I just like no, not the Three Stooges. I was thinking of the Marx Brothers. Actually, I'm sorry.
What the fuck is happening right now? You know who makes me fucking just hard as a rock? Buster Keaton. Charlie Chaplin. Ooh, mama.
The Marx Brothers are kind of hot.
I guess so. They're all dead.
I know, but in those old movies, they're like at the pinnacle of their careers.
I think that person, whoever that is like the most awesome human being in the world. I mean, what a cool signal to get crossed in your brain chemistry. That you see like slapstick comedy from the 40s and you're just like, ooh, where's my Hitachi magic wand?
Oh, you think maybe she masturbates to them?
I fucking hope so. You know what it sounds like when she masturbates to them?
Whoop, whoop.
Nyuk, 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 nyuk. Let's play another secret.
I have convinced everyone in my life, including my husband, that I have read all the Game of Thrones books. I have never read any of the Game of Thrones books. I just am really well-versed in the Wikipedia pages. I'm too deep into this secret. I can never go back. This is going to be the thing I confess on my deathbed, that I never read Game of Thrones.
You know, we heard earlier a really difficult call from a guy that was reaching out for help, and I told him clearly, and I hope he heard me, that we don't judge him and that we love him, and that his secret isn't, you know, you're only as sick as your secrets, and there's no judgment. There's all love coming from this podcast. But this fucking monster that's telling her family that she read the Game of Thrones book, how fucking dare you? You fucking sick monster. You fucking, how fucking dare you live a lie like that? You disgust us, right? Those books are good, though. She should read them.
But why does she need to convince him?
I don't know. I like her almost as much as the woman that jerks off to Larry, Moe, and Curly. What a weirdo.
Okay, let's do one more.
Hi, my secret is that I'm only supposed to have 2 cats in my apartment, but I actually have 4. And I did a porn.
Oh.
My 2 biggest secrets.
Wait. Go back. Play it again. Hold on.
Hi, my secret is that I'm only supposed to have 2 cats in my apartment.
You're like boring.
But I actually have 4.
Okay.
And I did a porn.
You know for sure she told the cat secret because she was scared to tell the real secret. She's like, one naughty thing I've done is I have 4 cats.
I hate that we can't keep talking to them.
I know. I wanna talk to them so bad.
She did a porn.
What is a more?
I would probably. I'm trying to think if I would have done one.
What do you mean?
I just feel like I could have done that.
What do you mean? Tell me more.
I don't know. When I first moved to LA, if someone could have convinced me to do that.
Really?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe one. I don't know. Maybe one.
Just one with a woman.
Maybe.
And 4 cats.
Because I had a woman convince me to go on a dominatrix thing with her.
Oh, you did one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I guess I'm telling you my secret.
What is it?
I told you this.
No, tell me the story.
So I went with like a group of 5 girls, and we had to wear lingerie, and then we had to tar and feather a man.
Was this in the Wild West?
It was in Beverly Hills.
Oh my God.
He wanted 5 girls
to tar and feather him.
So we like put like molasses on him and then like stuck feathers, and then we all had squirt guns and we were like squirting his asshole or something. I don't know.
I did not know this.
Sorry.
I love this.
And then
you were squirting his asshole?
I'm not great with details, but I do remember something.
You're not great with details, but you may have been squirting his asshole.
I mean, in my
with
memory,
molasses
sometimes like
it?
certain things will I'll remember.
So, sometimes you'll misremember certain events.
My God.
Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Like, for example, the way that I act in conflict with people. I don't mean to derail us at all. I just want to.
Okay.
So, was the guy like horny? Was he hard?
You know what it was? He was just he wanted to be humiliated. Mm-hmm. So I think what happens is these guys are like really powerful in their lives, and then what turns them on is humiliation.
Who was it?
I don't fucking know. She just told me I would get $150.
$150?
I don't know. It was 20 years ago.
So was he erect while you were doing this?
I don't remember that part.
You remember spraying his asshole, but not if he had a boner.
No, because there was 5 of us. See, it was like he wanted like a gangbang. You know what I mean? He wanted like a group amount, like he just wanted like a group of girls in negligees to like hurl insults at him. And
he must have been so good at that.
But here's the thing, I was so good at it, he called for a private. He's like, can Mistress Juliet, because that's what I said my name was. Can Mistress Juliet come to my house and just me and her? And I said no.
Oh man.
Because it felt safe with all those other girls.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, I was very open to things.
That's pretty cool. I am very impressed.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I think that's cool.
All right.
Mistress Juliet. You might be pouring molasses on me tonight, girl.
I don't remember where we got the feathers.
Yeah, I think you can buy them.
I'm sure the headmistress brought them.
I mean, what a weird fantasy, too. It's just like, my fantasies began and ended in 1842.
Right. That is weird. It was like clear. But the girl so basically I worked for her because she owned a clothing store.
Right.
But then she was a dominatrix on the side. So she was always doing weird things, like men would want her to like, flash. They wanted to flash a flashlight, like have her wear white underwear and a skirt, and they would like look up at her underwear with a flashlight.
I knew a girl who got paid £500 in England to shave her head in front of a man. I always thought that was so twisted.
Well, that's not that sexual.
Well, it was for him.
Oh, interesting.
Nobody's paying women money to shave their head because they like haircuts.
Also, maybe your friend didn't tell you the whole story.
Maybe not. Maybe you're not telling me the whole story. Did you get some molasses on you?
No.
Did you? Did you do the private?
I do wonder, though, how I showed up. Like, I feel like, how do you show up to a place like that? Are you just in your underwear?
No.
Maybe I had a trench coat on.
A trench coat? You're like a hack. You're like a hacky sex worker. You're wearing sunglasses and a fedora and a trench coat.
Well, anyway, the girl did a porn.
Well,
she didn't seem that ashamed of it, but that was a funny way of saying it.
I know. It was funny to lead in with the cats.
And
Get rid of 2 of those
4
cats.
cats is a lot.
Natasha recently came to me with a wild look in her eye, asking me about getting life insurance and asking me if I was feeling okay.
No, it's just because I knew that September is National Life Insurance Awareness Month.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, most people don't know that.
Why have I been feeling sick every time you give me a meal lately?
That's just my cooking.
Anyway, September is National Life Insurance Awareness Month, which I'm sure you already know. But what you might not know is that Policy Genius is the easiest way to shop for life insurance online. In minutes, you can compare quotes from top insurers and you can find your best price.
Once you apply, the Policy Genius team will handle all the paperwork and red tape. I can't stand any of that. So that, I think, is the best part about this.
If you do need life insurance and you haven't gotten around to it yet, or perhaps you have a spouse who's really got a vested interest in you dying young, National Life Insurance Awareness Month, as good a time as any to get started. Just go to policygenius.com, get quotes, and apply in minutes. You can do the whole thing on your phone right now.
Policy Genius, the easy way to compare and buy life insurance.
Well, you're probably feeling guilty about the eventual end and cold, cold death of the planet we call Earth. Well, there's something you can do. They're now making shoes out of recycled water bottles, and if you get them, you will stop global warming. Rothy's, they make the perfect everyday shoe for life on the go.
I got some black ones. They're little flats. I wear them to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
I wear them to
Other white stuff.
the
Yoga, meditation class.
I wear them to take my child to. I actually exercised in them the other day. I walked the reservoir by our house. It was really nice.
Anyway, they're fully machine washable. Every time they need a refresh, just toss them in the washing machine. And did I mention they make them out of recycled plastic water bottles? So just go to rothys.com/honeymoon and try these favorite flats.
Go to rothys.com, rothysdotcom/honeymoon to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/honeymoon today.
Let's take another call.
Okay, now we're going to call Brad in Milwaukee.
Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop, boop.
Brad?
Hello.
Hey,
Brad.
it's Natasha Leggero.
And Moshe Kasher.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. Just been waiting on this.
Cool, man.
Watching some Joe Dirt.
Oh, cool. I think I see the problem with your love life.
Wait, so
Yeah,
tell us what's
probably.
going on with you.
Yeah, what's happening, Brad?
Yeah, so essentially I had a very big crush on one of my friends freshman year of college. To my knowledge at least, I feel like I made it very apparent that I had the feelings, and I never got any form of acknowledgement or any form of sign that like she had any feelings towards me. So I moved on.
How'd you tell her, Brad? Tell us about you telling her about your feelings.
I didn't tell her just because we were good friends, and I didn't want to ruin that, I guess.
No, but you said you did tell her. How did you how did you make it clear that you had feelings
Oh, no,
for her?
I never told her. It was just kind of I made it apparent, and, like, she knew.
How'd you make it apparent?
I don't know. I was very flirtatious. I was very sweet, and I would take care of her. People would, like, think we were dating if they didn't know us.
Did she have a boyfriend when you said that?
No, she was single at the
Oh,
time.
okay. And
And you didn't make a move to like try to kiss her or something?
No, because I didn't receive any like signals back that she was like at all interested.
Got
I
it.
didn't want to push.
So you moved,
I didn't want to push anything that I didn't think was there.
Got it. So you moved on.
Yep.
And then what?
Moved on. Was in a relationship for a little under a year. Towards the end of my relationship, she ended up getting into a relationship. So now moved forward another year. She's a year into her relationship, but recently she has started doing very suspiciously flirty, weird things around me, and like stuff that other friends of ours have noticed and we've talked about.
Is she drunk when she's doing this?
Well, they're in Milwaukee. The odds are good.
Yeah, I mean, we're generally pretty drunk, but no, not really drunk. It's like a lot of times it'll happen at like the beginning of the night, if anything, on drinking, but like nothing too bad. Like at a house party one time, I was sitting on a couch, and I was all the way at one end, and one of our friends was all the way at the other. There was probably room for like two people between us, and she sat right next to me, and her boyfriend was at that party.
Okay, here's the thing. I hate to break this to you, Brad.
Brad.
But I think you're kind of like looking a little too hard for these signals. You know, I think you're kind of like sprung on her.
And assuming that you're sending signals. I'm not seeing it yet. Is there anything more direct that she's done?
Nothing very direct, but it's not me seeing a lot of the weird stuff. It's like other people, like my friends that have seen it. Like,
but aren't you telling your friends that you're in love with her, and so they're like, yeah, man, maybe she likes you. I saw her sitting next to you at that house party.
No, that's the thing. I'm not in love with her. It's more so like obviously I've had feelings for her, so I'm not going to say I don't have feelings for her, but I've moved on in the sense that I'm okay with us just being friends now. It's just weird. So she's been doing weird things that have been noticed, and it's kind of just confusing at this point, because
I mean, honestly, she sounds like a bit of a slut. I mean, sitting next to you at a party, it's like, hello, you know what I mean? It's
give
like,
us another example.
Give me
Brad.
something better than that, Brad.
Because you guys are friends.
Yeah.
You know, a friend sits next to a friend.
That's fair. I mean, that was probably a really poor example now that I think about it.
What else do you got? Anything come to mind of things that you've noticed and you're like, that was a little weird?
I mean, she sent me like Halloween costumes among 20-something-year-old girls are not the most, are pretty risque.
Sure, okay.
That was slutty, whatever you want to say.
Oh, did she dress up as slutty girl who sits next to you at a party?
No, she sent me pictures of her Halloween costume.
Oh, gotcha. But that's also unclear because
was it more sexual than what you would post online, like on Instagram?
Yes and no.
Got it. All right. So what's your question? What do you want to know?
I guess I want to know if I should say anything and see if she has feelings, or if I should just ignore it and just let her do her and let her figure whatever she's got to figure out.
Well, let me ask you this. How close are you guys as friends?
Pretty close.
Got it.
And she has a boyfriend currently.
Yeah, but the boyfriend's just kind of, it's a weird relationship. Like, we'll go out to the bars and he won't come with, and then he'll just pick her up at the end of the night.
Got it.
Or like he'll go out drinking with his buddies even though she wanted him to go out. It's just weird stuff like that.
And how long have they been together?
A little over a year, I think.
All right. Well, I feel like I have a suspicion here, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, Brad. My suspicion is that you do have feelings for her. How old are you? You're a young man. You're 21. So you're maybe not super comfortable with like being like, the thing is, I've always kind of had a candle for her, but it's pretty obvious from where I'm sitting in California and you're in Milwaukee and you can't beat me up. And I assume you could beat me up because you're in Wisconsin. You probably have thick shoulders and you've been drinking milk and Swiss cheese a lot of your life and beer. You're probably a thick man. I'm just going to assume that you are, even though you're saying no. I'm going to go ahead and decide that you are. But I think you are straight up like sprung on this girl. I think that's pretty obvious to me. And Natasha?
Yes.
Yeah, you're holding a candle for her, and you're seeing things that aren't there, and maybe you're seeing things that are there. You're assuming things that you did were obvious signals, and they probably weren't. And my advice to you is to either ignore it until she's single, or just tell her, hey, and this is the hard part, to just tell her, hey, the truth is, I kind of have feelings for you and always kind of have. And so I don't know if I'm making this up or not, but it feels like you're being more flirtatious with me lately. And that's hard for me because I really do have feelings for you. So if you're ever single and you want to, make Brad happy, we can do that. And until then, let's not flirt with each other. What do you think, Tosh?
Well, I think that Brad would probably agree that would be extremely difficult for him to say to her.
Yeah, that would be hard, huh, Brad?
Because he could mess up his friendship with her. But I do think that something like that would make sense if she does keep, persistently going after him. But also, from what I hear from Brad, is he says that he doesn't really like her that much anymore.
I don't. Is that true, Brad?
Well, I do like her. I think she's a great girl. I've kind of
not what we're
mentally moved. I've moved on from the thought of dating her, though. That's the weird. It's not like it's a complicated thing that just because like I don't think about dating her, but I still obviously like her, and I think she's a good person, and I think she has good characteristics. So it's just a weird thing that me and other friends of ours have noticed. She's been more flirtatious with me, even if her boyfriend's around. Like it's doing weird things that there's some things that I don't even notice that a friend will come after the fact and say, "Hey, this is super weird," or something like that.
Here's something you could do. Next time you're alone, not alone, but when the boyfriend's not around. And I mean, I don't want to counsel you to try to break this girl up with her boyfriend because I think that's unethical. But I do think you could.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to do that either.
I think you could straight up say to her, "How about this? This wouldn't ruin your friendship." You'd be like, "Are you flirting with me?" You could say that directly. And then at least that would
you guys are drunk anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You could just say, "Are you flirting with me?" And if she says yes, you should be like, "You got a boyfriend. Talk to me when you don't." And you can make it like a playful, fun thing.
And the thing, Brad, is 21 is so young. You're very young. You guys' relationship could have like 20 more years to it, you know? Like, I didn't get married till I was 41. I'm just saying, like, you know, you guys are old friends. There's going to be, you might move to another city. You never know what's going to happen.
Here's what I would do, Brad, if I was you. I would go down to wherever the host role is in Milwaukee, but first go to her Facebook and print out a picture of her face, cut it out with little eye holes in it, find a sex worker, ask her if she'll come back to the hotel for an hour with you, and then superimpose the Facebook page of your friend's face on the prostitute, and then just say, oh Karen, I assume that's her name. Oh Karen, oh I want to eat cheese with you. Oh, you sat next, and then right as you're about to ejaculate, you just think about her sitting next to you and just be like, you'll come so hard, dude. I swear to God. Because I came just hearing about that.
Oh my God.
What do you
Brad seems to like that.
Brad likes it. Brad, good luck out there, dude.
Good luck. And don't be afraid of being direct with her.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, no worries. Have a fun podcast.
All right, bye-bye.
Finally met someone who
shares my
your
intellectual
immaturity.
gifts.
Boy, he thought that was the funniest thing he'd ever heard.
I thought it was too.
That you cut out her Facebook page and then put it on a sex worker. Fuck it.
If you've got a secret for the Honeymoon podcast, call our hotline. And if you'd like some advice on your dating life, call the hotline. Leave us your phone number. We'll call you back live on the air. And this has been a good episode, Tosh.
Thank you guys for listening.
It started out tense. We worked through some shit. We took some calls. We had a lot of fun.
We dropped some wisdom.
We dropped some bombs. We had one really heavy secret, and if you are listening out there, really, honestly, my thoughts are with you. And we gave Brad what I think will be the greatest orgasm of his life. And speaking of the greatest orgasm of my life, I'm about to go cover myself in molasses and feathers and have a private with Mistress Juliet. Juliet. Hey, Juliet. Mistress Juliet.
They told me to pick a name.
Mistress Juliet. Mistress
Yes.
Juliet.
Yes.
Love ya.
I love you too.